Hello, my name is Hamza, and I will be advising the president of HamzaLand, Bruno, Colombia. First, we're going to go over the economic conditions of the economy, some graphs, my policy recommendations, and a reflection. So first, let's go over the economic conditions. So GDP growth is at 3.9%, representing strong economic output. Unemployment is at 6.5%. This means that many people don't have jobs. Inflation is at 0.7%, which is very low. Interest rates are at 5%. These high interest rates are discouraging investment. HamzaLand is in the expansion phase of the business cycle as the GDP is growing at a rate of 3.9% despite the high unemployment and low inflation. Next, let's discuss some graphs. First, we have the ADAS graph. The ADAS graph represents the trade-off between price level and real GDP. Currently, HamzaLand is in a recessionary output gap, which is represented by the line AD2. Aggregate demand is lower than it should be because of the decreased investment, because of the high interest rates. Next, we have the Phillips curve. The Phillips curve represents the trade-off between inflation and unemployment. Currently, HamzaLand is in a period of low inflation and high unemployment, which is represented by the dot on the short-run Phillips curve. Next, we have the money market graph. The money market graph represents the trade-off between interest rates and the quantity of money available. Currently, HamzaLand is at point B on the money supply 2 line. This is under where the country should be, as it should be at point A. These high interest rates are what's keeping people from investing their money, and that's what's keeping the aggregate demand low. Next, let's go over my policy recommendations. I recommend expansionary monetary policy. The central bank should purchase bonds to increase the money supply and lower interest rates. This is because HamzaLand's economy is currently in a recessionary output gap because the aggregate demand is too low. One shifter of AD is investment spending, and lowering the interest rates would encourage people to invest more money. This would increase the AD. However, a trade-off is that inflation may increase too high, and this may cause too much inflation in the future. This means in the future, the country could be in an inflationary output gap. This is represented by this graph. Currently, HamzaLand is at point B. Buying bonds could push the economy to point A. This means that interest rates would be lowered and the quantity of money would go up. This means that people would invest more money and aggregate demand would increase. Next, let's go over the reflection. What was the most challenging part of this analysis? The most challenging part of this analysis was understanding how the interest rate plays a role in the economy, as well as finding the different graphs to describe the situation. What's one thing you better understand about macroeconomics? This analysis helped me understand the relationship between aggregate demand and interest rates, specifically when I was researching the money market graph. Thank you for watching.